All right, camera. So this is probably the one area I think you guys are probably pretty curious to hear about. Okay. So OnePlus fashion, let's do the specs first, and then let's talk about what really matters. So the hardware on the 6T, similar to what we had in the 6, okay? And we got, in the end of the day, the feedback on the 6 was very positive. But for us, it's about what the overall user experience is on the camera, okay? So feedback was really positive on the 6. But again, what it comes down to for us sometimes is feedback and never settle, right? And what you can do better. So let me start by showing some photos taken. And then I'll tell you where we went with this. So not bad, okay? Pretty good, actually, okay? But there was one piece of feedback that you guys gave us, okay, from the 6. And what that was low light, right? Night photography, and you told us we could do better in that area, okay? So when we got that feedback this year, we've been thinking about what low light and night photography, what that means, right? So everybody knows you want to take better pictures at night, but what does that mean and how do we get there? So when we thought about it, we basically came up with kind of a simple approach. And what we were trying to get to is basically get to a device and an experience that would allow you to easily and quickly take the best photos at night as possible with a quick tap. And a lot of our users live in cities, wanted to capture great city nightscapes in a way that could be done really, really easily. And so that was our goal, okay? So what we first did was we invited a bunch of professional photographers to try out the 6 and take photos in low light. And I'll show you some examples of those right now. All right, so these are decent, okay? And pretty good. So what it basically told us was, with the 6, you could take great low light night photos. But to be transparent, like they're probably working with the settings a bit. And I'll be super honest. I'm going to confess something to you guys today that I've never told anybody else on the team. Like, you know, in pro mode, I actually don't know how to do everything perfectly. And anybody else there with me? Don't be afraid, raise your hand. All right, so I've never told anybody that before, but I'll admit it now, all right? So we want you guys to be able to, the whole point is to be able to take photos and not necessarily have to work all the settings potentially to create photo at night. So what our team's been working on is, over the last 6 months, is something we're going to call Nightscape, okay? And basically, Nightscape involves 2 major improvements. The first one is an HDR algorithm where basically we self-developed and we're really proud of. And basically, camera team took this from a scientific approach perspective, and they wanted to develop a way that would enhance the quality of low light photos taken in dim light. And that's what they've been working on for the last 6 months, and it basically involves 3 things: detail optimization, multi-frame stabilization, and noise reduction. Second thing is, and it gets back to the ease theme I talked about earlier. So with most cameras, if you're trying to take a low light photograph, it's probably going to take maybe up to 5 seconds to capture the photo. With night mode, different. Should only take 2 seconds to capture that photo. And the reason that matters is basically in a handheld situation, you want to be able to get the photo and get the moment. And so simply put, night mode allows you to capture that in just 2 seconds, okay? And so here, I'll show you some photo examples taken with Nightscape. And this is where you can really tell city landscapes come together really great. All right, so a lot of you guys are great, and you upgrade every single time to a new device. But I know a lot of you guys have the 6, and you're probably like, "Should I waited?" But what's important to note is Nightscape is, I think of this as something that represents community, right? It's feedback from you guys. It's going into product, and that's important. And so we're excited to announce today that Nightscape's going to be coming to the OnePlus 6 starting later this week. All right. And because I think Nightscape for us represents a really great example of community and product team working together, we're also going to start a new photography program on the community. called Channel OnePlus Nightscape. We're basically inviting you guys to visit the community later this week, share the photos, rep your city, rep the 5 boroughs for you guys here, rep the cities that you guys are from across the world. Pete's been on there. He's posted some Shenzhen ones. I think you guys can beat him. He's pretty good, but I think you guys can get him. So we're excited. So thank you for the support on Nightscape again, because we think it represents the best elements of OnePlus in terms of community and the product team working together. Second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today in terms of photography is portraits. Okay, so this is something where we've gotten feedback from you guys, and portrait photography seems to matter more and more to our users. So we've been lucky because we actually have a partner that's been working with us the last couple of years that's been giving us advice on this. As portrait photography has become more and more important. Now his work extends beyond photography, and it lives at kind of the intersection of art, technology, and photography. But he's actually best known for his portrait work in terms of capturing some of the most famous faces in the world with a distinct kind of artistic approach. And so on the 6T, we deepened our relationship with him, and he's helped us develop something that's new, which we're excited to announce today, something we're calling studio lighting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage OnePlus Innovation Director, KEVIN Abosch.
Hi, everyone. So many faces. I love faces. The smartphone has the ability to empower people in deep and rather meaningful ways. It's not just a device for communication and entertainment. It's a powerful tool capable of creating meaningful content and even distributing it to an audience across the globe. To be able to work with a company like OnePlus on refining the smartphone and innovating to bring even more power to the individual is a rather exciting process, to say the least. The camera, of course, is what I get the most excited about. Photography for me is so much more than just a way to document a scene or capture a moment. It's a means to deepen our understanding of the human experience. Everyone's approach to photography is different. I'd say I'm a reductionist. I tend to prefer single light sources and the shadows that they throw. I like compositions that move my attention to focus on something in particular. I like emotionally charged colors, and most of all, I'd say I like images that resonate with honesty. Well, every photograph is the result of capturing the light reflected from a subject. The light that illuminates, say, a landscape or a human portrait, it's either already present, it's been augmented, it's been added to and or modulated by someone or something before it actually reaches the subject. And these variables directly and profoundly affect the aesthetic quality of an image. How the 6T interprets this reflected light and then translates it into a photographic image is the result of a remarkable effort from a technical team working together to leverage technology to create a camera with impressive image quality and, dare I say, even the soul of an artist. Few things are as engaging as the human face, and photography allows us to view it in an entirely different way than we do in life. Our eyes are constantly moving across a face in 3 dimensions, refocusing all the time to adjust for changes in depth. But when we view a face, say, on a screen or in a physical print, it's a different experience. We're looking at it only in 2 dimensions. You can see the entire face at the same time in 2 dimensions. It's a very different experience. We have the opportunity to illuminate facial features or even hide them. When a shadow falls across a cheek, for example, our brain gleans data about the area outside of the shadows even that speak to depth and texture and shape. This brings us to studio lighting, which is the reason I'm here. Studio lighting is an exciting feature that I've worked with the OnePlus team to develop for the 6T. When the OnePlus system detects a human face while in portrait mode, studio lighting gently accentuates and attenuates the luminosity of certain facial features, and I think it yields a result that everybody here is really going to appreciate when taking portraits. One of the best parts of this gig is that I get access to devices long before they hit the street. And just last week, I invited a few friends over to shoot some quick portraits with the 6T. I hope you agree, especially after using the device, that mobile photography has seriously just leveled up. I used to look at images shot on my phone and think that, oh, I wish I had my DSLR with me. Now I'm more likely, when I have a 6T in my pocket, to say, you know, why am I carrying around this heavy DSLR? A few lucky members of the OnePlus community had early access to the 6T, and these are some of the photos that they've shared with us. Over the next few weeks, I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot more, the fruits of creativity being shared by 6T photographers all over the world. And thank you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, for sure. All right.